Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So on December 14th, one of the most critically acclaimed films of 2018 released on Netflix. And yes, I'm talking about Roma, directed by Alfonso Cuaron. And so I obviously had to watch it, so here's what I thought about that film. And don't worry, there are no spoilers. Before I tell you all the unique things that made this a great film, I'm going to tell you a quick bio of the film just in case you've never heard of it. Roma is a Spanish language film written and directed by Alfonso Cuaron, the Oscar-winning director of Gravity. If you were to go onto IMDB or Wikipedia to read up on this film, you'll probably find something along the lines of the story of a live-in maid in a middle-class family in Mexico. Although this is very true, this does not do the film any justice. And for the low-focus minds of 2018, this is not enticing. There aren't, crazy graphics or the star-studded casts or crazy plot twist. But I think that's what makes the story so real and genuine. And so I have made it my mission today to convince you to watch this film in theaters, or at least on Netflix since it's out. First, I'll start off with the story. So it has been quite some time since I've seen a film in theaters or online that really talks about the authentic human experience. And this film follows the life of Cleo, a live-in maid in this area of Roma in Mexico City. And as the film progresses, you kind of realize that this story could have been of any other person in that area. This is not just this one person who has this extraordinary life experience. This is just a real story that could have happened to anybody else in this town. And so I think that's what makes it so special, because it's so simple but so authentic. While I was watching the movie, throughout the whole thing, I was sitting on edge waiting for this, grave injustice to happen, or this amazing romantic gesture. But to most people's surprise, that never comes around. All you really see is this real person facing real issues in a very raw way. And subconsciously, you start being invested into this person, and it just makes you a part of this real human experience. What also adds to the story is the clever use of pauses. And I don't mean that the film dragged on. A Star is Born is a movie that dragged on. But this was something else. This was something good. Unlike the big box films that came out this year, this film doesn't have crazy jump cuts or riveting music or dynamic language to keep you interested. You kind of just have to sit there with the same emotions the actors are going through in their scenes. And although unsettling at times, it allows you to feel the ups and downs with the actors and be in the story. And honestly, I valued it so much as somebody who cares about the film experience. The next thing that really made the film was the cinematography. And having watched Gravity, I thought this film would have the same vibe, but boy was I wrong. This film, it had the same slowness that Gravity had, but the creative exploration of the film was totally different. And I think he took a lot of risks, and it definitely paid off. Right off the bat, the first thing you notice is that the film is in black and white. Originally, I thought this was because the film is based in the 70s. It was kind of trying to play into that setting, but as I kind of as I progressed into the film, I realized that this might have been done for a different reason. The city, or the district of Roma in Mexico City, was very heavily influenced by European architecture, and mixed with the Mexican culture, it might have been a very dynamic setting. And to have that in color with this very simple characters and stories might have been very distracting. So that's probably one of the reasons. And then in those long pauses that I talked about, where you kind of just have to sit with this vulnerable human on screen and be in this unsettling moment, if you had the option to look at the colorful buildings or something else passing by, that might have taken you away from that. So I think that's why the black and white was such a strong choice that worked. Adding on to the cinematography, there was a lot of world building that happened in this film. The director could have taken the route of using a lot of jump cuts and close shots to keep the film going, but I would say 95% of this film was either static shots, pans, or tracking shots, and this was definitely done intentionally. Roma is based off of a real district in Mexico City, so I'm sure it wasn't hard to create, so why not show it off in these very long pan shots. But also it plays into the storyline of this could have been anybody else's story. So when you look at this lead actor playing Cleo experience this certain circumstance, you don't just see her experiencing it. You'll see this world where it could have been any other maid walking on the street. It could have been any other person in this community. And it adds to that fact that this is not just a story about this one person in this very unique situation, but it's actually the reality of the people who lived in Roma in the 70s. Finally, the thing that really made this film for me were the characters. And I'm only going to focus on the main character, Cleo, played by, I'm totally going to butcher this, Yalitza Aparicio. who killed this role, and this was her first role, and she didn't even plan on getting it. Like, what a great story. What I really liked about her was that she had the emotional vulnerability and this realness that really made you want to care for her. Think how you felt about Chiron Ronan in Lady Bird or Timothée Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name. That's how I feel about Yalitza in this role. And I would even rank her a little bit higher than them in this because she isn't this superficial supermodel that, you know, we all know of as Latino or Mexican characters in films. But she also isn't this exaggerated Consuela type stereotype as well. She's just this real person living a life in this Mexican city. I know I overused the word real and vulnerable and unique in this video, but I really think that Yalitza embodied these characteristics in her character, and I'm pretty sure she did that because there's a lot of parallels between her own life and the character of Cleo that made this real for her. She's already gotten some recognition for this film, but I really hope she gets more recognition because she deserves it. The type of recognition that Timmy or Chiro's got. But you know, the unfortunate truth is I doubt that will happen, just knowing the industry, and you know, she isn't this very castable person for the stereotypical roles or these, you know, lead actress roles. But I really hope that that gets overlooked and she gets the attention she deserves. And I hope it doesn't end up like a Gabourey Sidibe situation with Precious, where it was just one time, you know, this amazing actress, but she never gets really cast again. So I will pray for her. Alright, so that's what I thought about the film Roma. I hope you liked it. I highly recommend watching this film either on Netflix or in theaters. It is out. If you're someone who likes the real stories and the human experience, the ups and downs, this film is definitely for you. Till next time, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.